Are you ready to unlock the secrets of your mind and discover the truth about human potential? Join us in this episode of Wisdom Synergy as we explore the untapped power of the human mind. The Grim One challenges the mainstream narrative that limits our understanding of consciousness and psychic phenomena. He delves into historical accounts of extraordinary abilities and the implications of CI experiments on psychic phenomena. Through real-life examples and scientific studies, he reveals the astonishing power of the placebo effect as evidence of the mind's ability to heal itself. We are just beginning to scratch the surface of what it means to be human. Our minds are capable of incredible things, and it's time to reclaim that power. Don't let society's programming limit your potential. If you're ready to break free from the chains that have been holding you back, then this episode is for you. So join us and discover the truth about your limitless potential. The greatest untapped resource is your mind. The placebo effect shows the mind's power. Your potential is limitless, not limited. The greatest untapped resource on earth is your mind. Most people have no idea how much power they have inside of them. Today we're going to talk about the power of your mind, your consciousness, and we're going to uncover some very interesting things. If you believe that you are limited, then you will be limited. If you think that there are certain things that you cannot do because you've been programmed to think that way, then you will never be able to do those things. So we're going to explore some ideas here today that might blow your mind. This has been kept hidden from the population for a long time, but now it's coming to light, and I'm going to show you some amazing examples of what the human mind can do. Now let me ask you something. What is the consensus today on what happens after death? Is there an afterlife, or when you die, you just die? Well, near-death experiences, we know that they exist because there have been millions of cases that have been documented of people who have come back from death, who have had out-of-body experiences. You know, they leave their body, they go through a tunnel, they see a bright white light. Some of them even meet deceased family members and friends. We know that these experiences are real. They're not imaginary. They're not hallucinations. But what does that tell us? It tells us that death is just an illusion. It's an illusion of the physical world. There's something else going on there. And so if death is an illusion, then what else could be an illusion? Well, anything that we perceive with our five senses could be an illusion, because remember, the senses can be tricked. Just think about dreams. When you're dreaming, what's happening? You're perceiving things, but it's not real. It's not real, yet it's very vivid. It feels real. You're experiencing things in your dreams that feel real. So what's to say that the things we experience when we're awake are any more real than the things that we experience when we're dreaming? Because when you're dreaming, your senses are being fed information by your brain that creates these illusions of reality. So this is a very deep subject that we're getting into here. But I want to share with you some fascinating information that reveals that we have been lied to throughout history. We have been lied to about our capabilities, our skills, our abilities, our potential. The truth is that a long time ago, before we started being programmed, we knew so much more than we know today. We had all of these abilities that most people today would consider to be superhuman, and I'm going to show you some examples of this. But let's first get into some more of the research surrounding the placebo effect. So it's estimated that between 30 and 40% of everything that we take as medication, as pills, as treatments, is because of the placebo effect. So it's important to understand that you have all of this power inside of you, and the placebo effect proves this. You have this wonderful tool that you can use to enhance your health, to enhance your life. But if you don't believe in your power, then you'll never tap into that power. Now, this next example that I'm going to share with you is absolutely mind-blowing. You probably heard about this before, but have you ever seen any of the videos of this incredible man named Donnie Eichrodt? Now, Donnie was born with oxygen deprivation. He's partially blind, he's mentally handicapped, and he's autistic. However, he has an amazing ability to do calculations mentally very quickly. He can do things like tell you what day of the week any given date falls on without hesitation, and he can do other complex calculations very easily. Now, what is this guy's IQ? His IQ is 50. He's considered mentally handicapped, but he has this incredible ability. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the human mind, the human consciousness, has abilities that we've probably never even imagined. It also tells us that our IQ might not mean a damn thing. You see, the dumbest people that you might think are the stupidest people, well, they might actually be the smartest people because they have access to parts of their brain that most people don't have access to. You know, most people live below their potential. They only use 10% of their potential, maybe less, and so the so-called Stupid people might actually be geniuses because they have access to abilities that most people don't have access to. Alright, so what else can the human mind do? Well, let's look at the CIA. You know, the CIA has been involved in some pretty crazy things. But for decades they ran programs where they experimented on humans, okay? They did things to people. They experimented on people, and one of the things that they did was they tried to find ways to enhance people's abilities, okay? They wanted to turn people into super soldiers. They were interested in things like telekinesis, moving objects with their mind, telepathy, reading other people's minds, clairvoyance, seeing things that are far away, precognition, seeing into the future. The CIA wanted to be able to weaponize these abilities. Now the question is, why? Would the CIA even think that these abilities were real if they weren't real? Why would they invest millions and millions of dollars into trying to develop these abilities in people? There's an experiment I want to talk about real quick. This was done in the early 1950s, and they took two groups of patients. Okay, they took these patients and they said that they were going to give them a medication that would make them more relaxed, that would help them sleep better. But in reality, neither group got any medication. And what they found was that 25% of the people in the group that was told that they were getting a sleeping pill began sleeping better. Okay, they began sleeping better despite the fact that they weren't taking a sleeping pill. Why is this? It's because of the power of the mind. It's because of belief. What you believe to be true becomes true. So many of us have been taught that we are stupid, that we're not capable, that we're limited. Well, guess what? That's not true. Those beliefs are not true. And when we start believing that we are limited, then we start living up to those expectations. We start conforming to those beliefs. But if we wake up and we realize, hey, I'm not limited, I'm not stupid, then we start acting differently. Then we start thinking differently. We become different people. Now, what do you think that all of the major historical events, all of the wars, all of the conflicts around the world, all of the pain and suffering that's happened in the world, what do you think that that has done to the human psyche? What do you think that that has done to our consciousness? Our consciousness has shrunk, okay? We've become smaller. We've become less powerful. We've been divided. We've been separated from each other. We've been programmed to fight each other, to hate each other. But once upon a time, we were taught to love each other. We were taught to live in harmony with each other. We were taught to live in peace. So when we stop listening to the nonsense that we've been programmed to believe, when we stop listening to the voices that have been telling us lies for a very long time, when we start thinking for ourselves, when we start looking at the world with fresh eyes, with innocent eyes, then we start seeing things more clearly, and then we realize how limited we've been. We realize how much potential we have inside of us that we haven't tapped into. You see, the global elitists, the people who are behind all of this programming, they want us to be as dumb as possible. They want us to be as divided as possible. They want us to be as weak as possible. But we are strong, we are resilient, we are intelligent, we are loving, we are kind, and it's time to reclaim that power. When you discover this, when you realize this, you will be unstoppable. Nothing will be able to hold you back. You will realize that you are a co-creator of your reality. You have this power inside of you that's always been there. It's always been there. It's never gone away. You've always had it. You just forgot about it. You just allowed yourself to be convinced that you didn't have it anymore. But it's time to wake up. It's time to reclaim that power. So many of us have been operating under the assumption that we are limited, that we're not capable, that we're not worthy. But that's not true. You are worthy. You are capable. You are enough just the way you are. You don't need anything. You already have everything inside of you. It's time to wake up. It's time to reclaim that power. If you enjoyed this video, check out this playlist right here for more videos just like this one. When we think about the things that humans can do, we usually focus on what we see being done every day by the average person. We talk about the little things like how people eat, sleep, work, play, and socialize. But when it comes to our potential as a species, well, that's a whole other story.